Hey guys, Juice here. I am here with a new video for you guys today. It's been a while since I filmed a sit-down video. The newest video on my channel is a reading vlog that will be coming at you guys before this one. So, as you can tell, there's 31 books here behind us, and we got quite a few books to talk about today. We are here for my spring TBR. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but it's my spring TBR video. I love watching these type of videos that everyone else do, and I thought, hey, let's compile a list of me to read in the year of spring. According to Google, spring is from March until June 21st, so we have 4 months of spring basically here, and I'm so excited to read each and every one of these. So if there's not a TBR coming from me for April, that's why, because this is basically the TBR for the next few months. But yeah, let's get started. A couple of these are library books, just because I just got them from the library today, and a lot of these are new releases or series finales that I need to wrap up on, and some first book in a series, middle grades, adult thrillers, YA fantasy, adult fantasy, all the genres are in here today. So without further ado, let's jump into this huge list. So the first book on my list is no surprise to anyone who's been following me for a while, and that is A Court of Frost and Starlight by, nope, that's not what it is, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Wow, can you tell it's been a while since I filmed? This is book 4 or 5, depending on how you look at the series of the ACOTAR series. And this one, I don't really need to say much about this one, because this is one of the more like popular new releases on TikTok, on Instagram, on not really Snapchat, but definitely on Twitter. And I avoided Twitter the month this book came out, and I'm still trying to avoid Twitter because that's where most of the book spoilers are happening. This follows Nessa, and that's all I really need to know about it, and I am kind of intimidated by the size, so this is hopefully going to get read sometime soon, because I was in a little bit of a reading slump for March, but now that I'm out of my reading slump thanks to middle grade, I will be reading this big boy soon. But this boy is thick. But yeah, this is the first book on my ambitious list. Also, if you can't tell, I changed my bookshelves. The way my bookshelves look now, I changed them recently into a different type of setting. All my books are by authors' last names, and the ones that you can see the pages for, with the exception of these. Obviously, the one you can see the pages on this shelf, that shelf, and maybe this bottom shelf are the ones that I need to read. So yeah, I'm hoping to also get to Flamefall by Rosaria Munden. This is the second and maybe final book in this duology. I know the first one is called Fireborn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I haven't read Fireborn yet, but I had this at my library waiting for me, so I was like, time to binge read a duology now that book 1 and 2 are out. And I do have the audiobook for both of these, so like I could really do a reading vlog for these if you guys want me to. All I know is this is a new YA fantasy duology, and this has to deal with dragons. I'm kind of mad that they changed the covers for this series, but kind of looks cool once you guys are able to see it in person. But yeah, I love using my library. You guys should definitely use it if your guys' library is open. I'm so thankful we could go inside to our public library, so this is definitely one of the few books I want to try and get to in the next couple of months. Another book I want to try and get to in the next couple of months is Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall. It says all stories turn into ghost stories if you wait long enough. Ooh, sound creepy. And this one is just, it's set in 1937. It says, in 1937, 31 resident of Bitter Rock disappeared. In 2003, so did my mother. Now I've come to Bitter Rock to find out what happened to her and to me. But because Bitter Rock has many ghosts, and I might be one of them. Like, if that doesn't sound so cool, I don't know what does. this is yet another new release. This came out this month, I want to say, or it came out last month. But I know Julie from Pages and Pens loved this author, so this one I will be checking out. It's not that long either, so hopefully I can fly through this. I believe this is a mystery thriller, if I'm not mistaken, so definitely excited to read a YA mystery thriller book, because I haven't read one in a while, so definitely will be a good change of pace for me. The next book I will be also doing a reading vlog for. I was lucky enough to get the arc of this from NetGalley, well, the sequel I should say. I was able to get the second book from NetGalley. The second one doesn't come out till July, I believe, so that is The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. I know my friend Charlie read this month, or they read it last year, and they really enjoyed it, so I'm super excited for that. And I just know I will love this because I read Sarah Henning's Sea Witch duology and I really enjoyed that. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Princess, Pirates, Female Badass is what I heard this is. So yeah. Yeah, it says don't mess with the crown. So that sounds interesting. And again, this is another library book that I'm hoping to read before April 17th, I think is when my books are due. The next book, I kind of wish I had the sequel with me as well because it's on this list, so you will see it in the future. And that is Act Your Age, Evie Brown by Talia Hilbert. This is the third and final installment of this contemporary series. I'm so excited to finally have this in my hands. I thought I would be buying it from my Amazon wish list, but this came in first, so I was like, okay, if it's from my library, I'll definitely read it. So definitely excited. If you don't know what this series is, it's the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hilbert. The first book is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and then the second one is Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I'm also hoping to read Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which I have right there in my stacks, so we'll see it later on in the video. But yeah, definitely hoping to complete. This is one of the mini series I want to complete in 2021. Next book I have, I'm actually currently reading it. I'm like 6 or 7 chapters into this book and it's really interesting and super cool so far. And that is Incendiary by Sidoria Cadavio. I read one book by her recently and that was The Labyrinth Lost, I believe. It was like one of her first books, I think. And that was pretty interesting. And so this book is an Owl Crate exclusive cover. I got this back in like May, I think. I want to say 2019 or 2020. I can't remember exactly when, the years are blending together. But the sequel for this one is actually coming out this year. So hopefully by the time I get this video up and by the time I finish this book, the sequel will be out. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm really enjoying it. I have these pages tabbed up for 50 pages interval, just to see how long it would take me to read this book. So definitely the characters are interesting. This magic system is a little confusing to understand in the beginning, but I'm already like 100 pages in and I'm starting to like get a grasp of what this setting and world building is like. So definitely interested, and it's holding my interest, I guess. And yeah, it's the first book in a series. The second one will be coming out sometimes this summer, I believe. So there's this one. The next book is going to be a reread for me, and I'm actually reading the sequel / finale to this duology next month. I know I'll be reading these 2 books for sure, and that is my reread of King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I reread this last year, and I buddy read this with my friend Heather, and we both loved this book, so I'm so excited to reread this book again and hopefully love A Rule of Wolves because I'm so excited for it. It's the second and final book in the Grishaverse universe. Like, I think Leigh Bardugo is done with this universe after Rule of Wolves, which actually comes out this coming Tuesday, so March 30th, right? Yeah, March 30th is when Rule of Wolves will be out, and I pre-ordered that, so I'm so excited for my pre-order to arrive. And hopefully it will look nice with all my other Leigh Bardugo books that I have right here, actually. So this will be a reread and then reading Rule of Wolves for the first time, which I'm so excited. And again, Rule of Wolves is our Queer Reads book club pick for the month of April if you guys want to join us. And then this one I've already read. I read this one this month actually, so you'll see this in my March wrap up when I post one soon. And that is the School for Good and Evil series by Simone Chanier. This is book 5. I read this one for Tome Topple this month. I really enjoyed it. I put this on my list because book 6, One True King, the paperback edition, comes out April 6th, and I also pre-ordered that one, so I will be having that coming in the mail soon. So I'm just waiting on my pre-order copy for the paperback so I can have a matching set, which is right here, funny enough. So once book 6 comes in, I will be totally reading it, because I don't know how you people waited a whole year for this book, but for this final book in this series. But I really enjoyed this one. It was a little bit slow in the middle, but it picked up halfway through, and I literally finished this with like in a week or something like that. So definitely really enjoy this, and I'll talk more about this in my March wrap up, but I'm definitely super excited and hoping to complete this series in the springtime. So yay. Next book we have is one that I keep pushing off forever, and that is The Well of Ascensions by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second installment of the Mistborn series. I don't know if this is a series or if it counts as a trilogy. I have all 3 books now. I bought book 3 when it was on sale from Amazon. And if you don't know what the Mistborn series is, I don't know where you've been the last like decade basically, because Sanderson has been taking over the like book world. And I'm really excited and kind of nervous to read this now, because I kind of waited way too long for reading this right after book 1. I read book 1 last year in the summertime, and I really enjoyed it. I believe I read it in like August or July, and I remember liking it, but not like loving it like a lot of other people do. But a couple of my friends have been telling me that I would love the sequel more, and I would definitely love the 3rd book a whole lot as well. So really excited to see what all that hype is about. So this one is definitely a series I want to continue with, and hoping to complete it sometime soon. And then this next book is a graphic novel. You already saw the cover probably, and that is Saba Tahir's A Thief Among the Trees, an Emma in the Ashes graphic novel. This is part of, like I just said, the Ember Quartet series. I don't know if I should read this in between books, or if I should read this after I read the finale, which is also on my TBR. I am kind of confused of when to read this, because this came out last year, and I've been wanting to read it ever since I saw the beautiful artwork in here. This is just an example of what some of the artwork looks like without trying to spoil you guys. Yeah, there we go. That's the view like artwork in here, and I'm really enjoying that type of style, so I'm definitely excited. I don't really have a lot of graphic novels on my TBR, so I'm kind of savoring this one in case I need a graphic novel. The next book is another middle grade on my list, and that is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is one of the few middle grade fantasy stories that is a standalone. I haven't read a good middle grade standalone in a while. The last one I read was Dragon Pearl by Yoon Han Lee, which was also part of the Rick Riordan imprint, and that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed that book, so I'm really hoping I would love this one. It's super short. It's probably one of my shorter reads on this list, to be honest, and I picked this up when I went book shopping with my friend Taylor, so definitely want to try and get to this sooner than later. But again, I'm in no rush to read it because it is a standalone. I haven't read anything by Rebecca Roanhorse yet, so I'm really interested to see if I would love her writing. So yeah, I follow 7th grader Nazi. I don't know how to say that person's name. I'm so sorry. But it's follow this 7th grader has been able to detect monsters disguised as people, like Mr. Charles, her dad's new boss at the oil and gas company. Mr. Charles is alarmingly interested in her and her brother Mac, their Navajo heritage, and the legend of the hero twins. So I'm really interested in that and don't know much about this sort of Greek mythology aspect, so definitely a book I will be learning from. The next book I have will be one of the few rereads I have on this list, and that is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. I reread book 1 this month for my book club for crew reads, and I really enjoyed that reread. I was sad that I haven't continued with this trilogy yet, but I love these new covers. They're like really pretty, and I definitely am super excited to read this, even though this one, I forgot how big the sequel is. But the third book is like 700 pages, I think. So I have a feeling I will definitely fly through this one like I did with the first one. And this series, these are the 10th anniversary covers, so can't believe this series is like 10 years old now. I first read these series when I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm like a college student, so it's crazy that I'm going back to one of my favorite series that I loved in high school, and I'm still really enjoying the first book, so definitely excited to see what happens in this one, because it's been a while since I read this whole trilogy. Now we have a few of our contemporary books that I was talking about. So the first one I have here is Charming as a Verb by Ben Philippe. I believe I said that right. Look how cute this cover is. It's so cute. This is another Own Voices novel, and this is, I can't remember what this one was about, to be honest. I just know that Penguin Epic Reads has been hyping this book up all last year. It actually got pushed back a week before it was even out, so I kind of had to wait a week. It's a short contemporary novel. I'm hoping to love this, and I haven't read anything by Ben Philippe, but for some reason, dog walking and set in New York, and I don't know, just something about this cover. It was honestly mostly a cover buy, to be honest, so yeah. But I am interested in reading this, so hopefully it would be good. Who knows? As you guys know, I kind of suck at summary, so I just say I'm excited. I'm excited like multiple times in a TBR video. So yeah, we have this one. Then I have one that is in finale to a contemporary companion series is what this one is, and that is 10 Things I Hate About Pinky by Cynthia Menon. This is, like I said, the third and final book in this companion series. I read 1 and 2 and I loved them. 2 wasn't really my favorite, but When Dimple Met Rishi, I've already read that with my friend Taylor. So now I can read this one. Again, it's a contemporary novel, so it's super short, so hopefully I can fly through this. But if you love the When Dimple Met Rishi book, then you would definitely love this one. I bought this last year, still haven't read it, and hoping to read it this spring, because that's usually when I read a lot of contemporary books, is spring and summer. So another contemporary novel on my list. Another series I'm hoping to complete, because I just have one more book left in this series, and that is The Desolation of the Devil's Ark by Ransom Riggs. This is the 6th and final book in this series. I'm so sad to say goodbye to this world. I've been with this world since book 2 was out. I was kind of late on the bandwagon, so I wasn't quite there at the beginning, but since I've followed Jesse from Jesse the Reader for almost a decade now, I know he loves this series. I know he loved this final book. I know my friend Charlie read it. They loved this final book, so definitely sounds like one I'm gonna love. And again, it's one of the bigger fantasy books on my TBR too, so hoping I would wrap this series up, and hopefully I will love it, because I hear a lot of great reviews for this one. Another series finale I have is The Tower of Nero by Rick Riordan. This is part of the Trials of Apollo series. This is book number 5, the final book in the Percy Jackson universe as well. So many series are wrapping up in the past year or this year, so I'm really excited and nervous to say goodbye to all these characters. This one, funny story, I was supposed to buddy read this with my friend Taylor, who you guys know and love on this channel, but she borrowed this book from a friend of hers and she already read it and she cried in it, so that has me scared. And again, it's a middle grade book, so I should be able to fly through this. And yeah, that's all I want to say about this one. If you haven't read any Rick Riordan books in a while, you took a break or whatnot, definitely pick him back up if you guys haven't read him in a while, or if you haven't read him at all, definitely pick him up. Definitely start with the Percy Jackson books though, because that's kind of like the first series he's known for. So definitely excited and nervous to see how this one will wrap up. A series I would like to start this spring is Bonecutters Moon by Catherine Purdy. I got this in like March or April of last year, and it's now March this year, so this has been on my TBR for a year. Look at these braid edges, they're so cool. I'm really excited for this. The sequel actually comes out this coming Tuesday as well, but I won't be getting my hands on it soon, so definitely excited. I definitely want to read this. Bone Magic phase, I believe, are in here too. Yeah, it's a folklore French retelling, and that's all I really know about it. And I got it from alart, so it's like one of those books that didn't really pique my interest, but now that I have the book and read the summary, it kind of does pique my interest now, which sounds so mean and sad to say that, but I just know there's not been a lot of reviews for this one, so, but I do love this cover. I love blue. Then we have another series finale that I am hoping to read. This book, the final book of the series, come out April 6th, and that is the Arusha series by Roshani Chakshay. This is also part of the Rick Riordan Present imprint. I might reread book 3, or I might reread the whole series in April, just to get caught up on to book 4. I've already read this one last year, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, 5 stars actually. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was like an audiobook that I just wanted to listen to at the time, and I flew through it, and it was super funny. It's definitely like the female Percy Jackson right now. So, like I said, Arusha and this Play God, I think, or something like that. I forgot what the 4th one was called. But the 4th Arusha novel comes out April 6th, so I'm hoping I would love that one as much as I loved all the other ones, because all 3 of these books have been fantastic so far. The next book is a adult mystery thriller book that I had on my TBR for quite a while, ever since June, or actually April, wow, ever since April, and that is The Guest List by Lucy Foyle, or Fally. I forgot how to say the author's last name correctly. I tried to start this earlier in the year of last year, but I just couldn't get into it. But I do have the audio from Audible, so maybe I could pick this up. I do remember this being on my 5-star prediction TBR though, so maybe I can read that soon, because this is a short thriller book. So once I'm in the mood for my thrillers, I will definitely be picking them up. Right now, I'm just in a good YA fantasy mood, so no thrillers yet, but maybe later towards the spring season, we'll see if I am or not. But definitely one of the fews I want to get to. And then the next 2 are Faith Taking Flight by Julie Murphy. This one I bought last year during the summertime at Target, but then my sticker never came off because I'm so bad at taking stickers off. This is the first book in a new middle grade series by Julie Murphy, and it has to do with superhero, and it's by a plus, and there's a plus size girl in here, and its own voices for middle grade. And I believe there's LGBT characters in here too, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, superheroes, LGBT, own voices, first in the series. We love it. The next book I have is a new release that I just got from alart for the month of March, so look away if you don't want to be spoiled. And that is Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tolley. I believe that's how you say her name. Look at this pretty paper. These are purple edges, which we love. We don't have a lot of purple books in our library, so I'm really excited to have this in my collection. This one is, again, just like with Bonecutters Moon, this was another alart book that I didn't know anything about before going into the synopsis and reading it. So this is a female, I don't know if this is a female friendship, or if it's a female relationship type of trope, but it definitely has LGBT characters in here. And it says Tamsin is the most powerful witch of her generation, but after committing the worst magical sin, she's exiled by the ruling coven and cursed with the inability to love. The only way she can get those feelings back, even for just a little while, is to steal love from others. So yeah, that sounds really cool. And I did an unboxing of this in the reading vlog that I mentioned earlier in this video. So I'm gonna fly through this last stack just because I don't want this video to be long. So the next couple of books I have is also a book that's new to my library, and that is Bridget Souls by Victoria Schwab. If you guys know me, you guys know I love Miss Victoria Schwab. I read every single one of her books so far, with the exception of this one and Vengeful. For some reason, I cannot get into Vengeful, but that's for a different story. But this is the third and final book in the Cassidy Blake series. I'm so sad to say goodbye to the series because I really love Jacob and Cassidy, and they're just two amazing characters. This whole cast is amazing too. It's definitely a shorter one, so oh no, I didn't realize that. How crazy. Look at that. I didn't realize that back copy was damaged. Anyways, this is signed by Victoria Schwab, and there's an author letter in here too. So it's signed, if you can see that. I don't know if you can. But like I said, third and final book in this series, so hoping to wrap it up sometime soon. Another series I'm hoping to wrap up, and I already mentioned this, so I'm just going to show it off, and that is A Sky Beyond Storm by Sabatier, the fourth and final book in the Ember Quartet series. Super excited and super nervous. I'm definitely planning on reading this in the month of April with my friend Heather, since we buddy read Reaper. Then we have another series finale, and that is Namesake by Adrienne Young. I read Fable last year, and I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it enough to continue on with the sequel. So we have the sequel's out. This is going to be in my March book haul, so this is the first time I'm showing this beautiful book off on camera. So definitely excited to see how things end. And my friend Charlie loves this book again. So many books recommended by Charlie. And then another contemporary novel that I want to read is The Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adam. This one is very popular on BookTube, and I believe book 4 comes out this summer. So if I have time, I'll binge read all the first 3 that are out. So yeah. And then another contemporary novel I have is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hubbard. Again, I already talked about this one in this video, so this is a sequel, and then I already mentioned that I want to read book 3, so I will definitely be binge reading this series. Then another series finale. Most of these are series finales, if you can't tell, and that is All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace. This is the second and final book in the All the Stars and Teeth duology. I want to reread the first book because I loved it so much that I'm in the mood to reread it, so I might reread book 1 first and then jumping into this one. But look at this purple cover. Also, apparently if you get the Owl Crate copies, you will get the pre-order swag. So there's a couple of character cards that we got for, I'm not even like showing you guys, but there's a couple like art print that we got here. So there's that one, and then the final character. I kind of forgot all these characters' names, so if you guys remember what their names are, let me know down below. But yeah, definitely excited to see how this series will end, because I know Corey from Owl Crate, she said it ripped her heart out. So definitely excited and nervous for that one. And then the last few I have are just a couple books here. We have The Night Swim by Megan Golding. By Megan Golding. This is another this is another adult mystery thriller book that is very popular from Book of the Month and all over BookTube and Instagram in general. And so really excited. This will be my first book by the author as well. And then I want to another reread I want to do is reread Fire by Kirsten Cashore. I reread Graceling this month and I really enjoyed it. The audio was full cast, and we love a full cast audio for this series, or just full cast audiobooks in general. We love that. So I buddy read the first book with my friend Taylor. We both finished it this month, so we're waiting for April to buddy read this, and then in May we'll buddy read Bitter Blue, and then June we'll buddy read Winter Keep, I believe. Yeah, Winter Keep. So love these new covers, by the way. They're so cool. So yeah, definitely excited to get my hands on the last 2 installments. Then the last 2 I have are also on my 5-star prediction TBR I made last year, I believe, and that is The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Yes, I have not read this yet. Last year was a weird reading year for me when I buy the new releases but don't read them until like the following year. So now it's the following year and I have to read these now. This is part of the Hunger Games universe. If you don't know what that is, I don't know where you've been. Prequel to the Hunger Games, set 10 years before we meet Katniss Everdeen, and this follows President Snow. That's all I'll say about that. And then the final book on my spring to be read file that I want to read, I actually own the sequel of this one too, so maybe I can binge read this, and that is Chain of Gold. And then like I just said, I also just got my hands on the beautiful Chain of Iron. So these are the last 2 books on my list. Taylor, I'm looking at you. We need to read these. We need to catch up on Cassie in general. So finish Ghost of the Shadowmaker, please, so we can binge read the heck out of this. I'm so excited for both of these. This one I got at Target, and this one we bought off at Amazon. So really excited. Hopefully I can read these soon, but if not, I blame you, Taylor. Just kidding. I love you, Taylor. Anyways, that is all that I have for you guys today. I kind of rushed that because I didn't realize how long this video would be already, but that is everything on my ambitious spring TBR that I just showed you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys love this video, please give me a big thumbs up, as it helped me out a whole lot. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Leave a comment down below which of these 31 books I should start with first, because I don't know what to read next after Incendiary. So yeah, definitely help me to read a lot of these, and I'll chat with you guys down in the comments below. And like I said, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn your notification on, and give me a big thumbs up, and I'll chat with you guys later. Bye!